Well, hello, Legion, and welcome back to a little Fall of Faerun, as our once proud forgotten realms is now sundered by a zombie-esque apocalypse. Yeah. That's right, Staffin nailed it this time. But as we have now grown beyond our original constraints for this apocalypse, the City of Splendors, the City of Waterdeep, we are now headed north towards the beacon of hope that is the city of Neverwinter, where once there were 4 stagecoaches, now there are 2. 3 souls have been left behind in this flight from the city and into the unknown. And it's difficult to remember them because they themselves made it so impossible to keep their faces from being burned out of the memory with the things that have occurred, the twisting of the features, or simply the decay and wasting away of somebody turning from a being of water into a being of dust. But lose people we did. Ordis, the tiefling barbarian, he fell escaping Mother's estate. He fell protecting children, protecting his siblings. Tyson, the human artificer, died protecting the rear flank, taking not only his corrupted fellow with him, but also sealing off a way to ensure the safety of one of the stages that still exists. And finally, Deputy Thero, the Triton cleric, fell. But in his falling, the gate that would have allowed exit to all of these creatures as they poured from the City of Splendors was sealed by a replica of the badge that the deputy wore. This badge made not of metal, but of the ice that was generated from the water of his own body. And as those stages, 4 in total, left Mother's estate, only 2 make the journey north. Stages 2 and Stages 3 were lost in the City of Splendors, but Stages 1 and Stages 4 carry hope. And not only did these stages escape, but every one of the children under the care of our heroes escaped as well. They were able to make it clear, not one of these bright souls, not one of these small forms lost to this zombie apocalypse. And who are they? Well, I will help both our new viewers and, of course, the party who needs to make mental notes of all of these fun things. Pidge, she, her, a halfling. Rock, he, him, a half-orc. Blundertruss, they, them, the gnome, that seems to have taken a particular interest in the horse that was left by the deputy, as Blundertruss the gnome is constantly around the horse Barnacle. And Robin, the he-him humanoid, who is always at Blundertruss's side, has accompanied him as well to the periphery, the satellite of the horse known as Barnacle. There is Z, she, her, a half-elf teenager. All of these degrees of age are given in human terms so we can better understand, but this teenager, formerly Daisy, has taken a bit of a rebel streak, but she is quiet now after the turn of events and the upending of her life. We have Ketz, she, her, a Kenku, who desperately wishes to fly, the smallest of all of the children. We have Can-Can, they, them, a goblin, whose nickname comes simply because they always think they can. And Megan, she, her, a human with burns covering most of her features. She was found amidst a burning caravan wagon. She seldom speaks, but she now carries a ring of fire resistance gifted to her by Father Strider. However, those are all the things that happened, and those are all the people that are going with us north. But what we really need to know at this point is who's going to survive in the next few hours. So far, we've only had one episode in which everyone has been from tip to tail. Let's see if we can't do that again, or at the very least, make some moments. And so at this time, I'm going to welcome in our new arrival. Gambit, welcome to the show. I will let everybody know that Gambit is playing a barbarian and is currently scouting around where the stages have stopped, trying desperately to find some food and find some water, because none of that was packed. But I will give it up to my friend here. Please describe who you are playing, and let us know a little bit about them, my friend.
All right, it'll be my pleasure to introduce myself. I am a half-orc barbarian. As compared to other orcs and half-orcs, I am in the very small size. Think I am about the size of Kevin Hart compared to Shaq. As far as size, I'm small, stocky. When Mother took me in, I was but a babe. As I grew up, I was always picked on, not only because I was the smallest, but because I was the smallest of the half-orc as well. I was never one to pick a fight, but as I got beat up, I would always attempt to finish the fight victorious.
Fantastic, my friend. And the name of your half-orc barbarian?
Tizzle, or as everybody knows him, Tiz.
Okay. So Tiz, Gambit, as your half-orc barbarian is scouting out the area, as they are looking desperately to try to find anything that could help aid the transport north of the survivors in the escape train, I'd like you to go ahead and, at this point, why don't you roll me a check to see if we can find anything. Give me a nature check, and we will see where we go from there. So you can, Fantastic. So we're going to say that we're going to kind of retroactively engage a little bit of that. And you're in luck, Gambit, as it seems the Pope of Malibu has cast a blessing from across worlds and across time, much like our friend Dawn says at the beginning of every episode of May Black Roses Bloom. You have 10 extra feet of movement, my friend, gifted to you by Pope. Pope, thank you very much, my friend. And so mark that down, your normal base movement rate plus 10. And I see something else has come in from the Bard of the Legion always representing. And you also get a D12 of inspiration, Gambit, as Prax has played and the Bard has commanded inspiration from you and from this area. So as we retroactively apply your survival roll, okie dokie, and plot armor for everybody from Levi, as the fantastic Legion hits in force here at the top. So everybody that didn't have plot armor, which was all of you, make sure you double up your levels. You now have plot armor. That's 12 for everybody. That is 8 for our new arrival, Tiz. Please put that down into D&D Beyond so it's reflective and everybody should be able to see it, unless I don't have it up, which I can rectify in just 1 second. But as you're looking around, we're going to say that retroactively, as the survival roll or the nature roll is applied, you have found a good bit of food. And because of your background and your descriptor that you have, Gambit, you're able to feed 5 people a day with your skill. Even though this was a harsh environment that, for whatever reason, the wildlife isn't necessarily as abundant as it was before, you are able to find enough game to feed 5 of the company in the escape train. At this point, though, I'd like you to roll me a perception check.
Oh, boy. Okay. Good old 13.
Excellent. And with a 13, let's see. So as you look down, you see as a veil opens up in front of you, and as the last of your traps are collected and a rabbit ensnared, looped around, and maybe placed on your belt or on your pack behind you, 'tis you crest over a hill and you see the reflection of light against water. It's late in the afternoon, but because of the positioning of the sun and because of the cloudless sky, the reflection of the water and not the sun is what causes you to look. There you see a house, a rather opulent rancher. You can tell that there are fields extending out of this valley that you're looking in here, sort of at the 50 to 100 yard line of the edge of a forest. The house built in the forest and the fields extended outward. And also, as you look and as you gauge this area, you see a covered wagon and you see a stable. And from this distance, you can hear the whinny of horses coming from the stable. What would you like to do?
I'm going to go in slowly. I'm going to try to go on the outskirt first to make sure there's nobody both dead and alive. And I'm going to, as soon as I can reconnoiter correctly, seeing that there is nothing, I'm going to go into the stables, see if I can get the horses to agree with me that it's time for them to leave.
Okay, so if you're going to go in here by yourself, I'd like you to give yourself 10 honor, since you are not only removed from the group, you are now distancing yourself even further as you climb down into this unknown area. Would you like to do so stealthily, or are you going for speed?
I'm going for speed.
Okay, so
Time
without the
is of the essence.
roll, give me an athletics roll then as you kind of sprint out of the area.
16.
Okay. You're able to clear the area pretty quickly and you get over to the stable. And as you kind of swing and see over the half door of the stable, the smell of hay and that damp horse manure smell kind of assaulting you, you look, and as you see, there are at least a dozen horses in here.
Wow. How did they react to my presence?
Roll me an animal handling to see if you can understand. Or I know that you have something that enables you to...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Not to help you out, but to help you out.
I apologize.
No.
First time playing a barbarian, so let's see if I can speak with animals. I believe it takes 10 minutes of... It lasts for 10 minutes. Let's see. But it's one action. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I shall speak to the horses.
They are all, as soon as they can, with their rudimentary intelligence, as soon as they understand that you can converse with them, you are hit with a cacophony of hungry, I'm so hungry, hungry. And it's at this point that you realize that all of these horses, you can see ribs and you can see shoulder blades as they are hungry, so hungry, hungry. And they just echo hungry, 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 hungry up and down these stalls as each of the horses just repeats that basic need, hungry, hungry, hungry.
Okay. Obviously the hay that was in their little, I don't know what they're called, like trays for them to eat, must be gone at this point.
You see now that the hay that you're smelling is actually from the loft above. The floors are almost bare. You see just wood and dirt.
And when you say floor above, you mean like...
There's a hay loft above you. It seems to be a half floor hay loft. It's in darkness though.
Any ladders?
Roll me a perception check.
$16.
With a 16, you see that there is almost kind of obscured, but between two of the stalls is an aisle that goes back from the main thoroughfare where the horses are brought out into the pen and into the area for exercise, and you see it kind of almost meshed in with the actual beams and support of the barn itself, heads up to the second floor.
Okay. Any way for me to make an egress up there?
Yeah, no roll necessary if you want to climb up.
Perfect. I will take one of my javelin out, I can use both to prod the inside of the hay to make sure there's nothing in, and see if I can just push the hay down to where the horses are.
Okay.
So is it possible for me to just push the hay into the enclosures where the horses are? Or would I have to take them, come down, bring them to them?
Well, it's made in such a way that you can throw it down to the horses. What I will allow you to do is, though, if you roll me in athletics, we'll see how quickly you can do this. As you go up and prod through you see that the hay's strewn all about. It's not baled. It looks like it was baled at one point, but it's been torn and opened. But it will take you, depending upon your athletics roll, that will see how quickly you're able to get this and disperse it or dispense it down to the horses.
Okay, I would like to do so with advantage.
Okay. So take 5 of your honor away as you... Nice. So you quickly are able to get enough, and as soon as a pitchfork full, or however a handful of the hay is thrown down, the horse that's in the stall with the hay immediately falls on it. And because your spell is still active, you hear, thank you, thank you, thank you. It just echoes every time you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, master, thank you, as it goes up and down.
All right. How long would I be able to give them to eat until I can see that they're done eating? They're just glutton at this point.
Roll me a perception check.
I can't see nothing.
Okay, so as you are doing all of this and you have them and they're just eating as much as they possibly can and you're kind of tending to them, you don't notice the movement at first, but you notice it almost at the end of whatever circuit it had been doing. But you hear a door close. You hear a over towards the house.
I'm gonna spin and simply scan the house, windows, any other doors. I'm expecting trouble at this point.
Okay. With that earlier perception check, you don't see anything, but now that the about 15-20 minutes has passed with your work, you see that the light, as the sun is lowering, is casting tilted shadows through several split trunk trees. It's reflecting off the nearby pond and back up onto the house, making the entire structure look as if it's tilted, as if the geometry of this structure is suspect. It's not, of course. When you look, you're able to see the lines, but with the way the shadows are cast in an awkward angle from different points of light, it seems as if the entire structure moves and tilts as you watch it.
That sounds a bit like my imagination wouldn't be making this up. I think my first step in this case, the horse seems to be safe. They haven't been touched by anything. I think it's time for me to go back. I can bring more people to get some more horses.
Okay.
The horses seems to have been abandoned at this point. It is quite possible that was just the wind, but I have a feeling that it's not. I need to get some more people here. We have more horses than I can handle by myself, and we'll come back to get them.
Very good, very good. And so as you creep from the area and as you are able to kind of leave this position and carry on to the next, we will cut to Tiz. About 10-15 minutes later, you come into the camp and we will welcome in everybody else. As everyone else, as you are sitting there, there is no unpacking going on with the stagecoaches. Everybody in a state of ready, but there is a pause as the horses, the 6 team horses that are on the 2 stages, are lathered with sweat and their breathing is labored as they have been pushed almost constantly for the past 2 days. They stopped once for 8 hours, so you all have a long rest, but these horses are very, very tired. Tiz, you see your friends.
I'm going to go straight to Mother.
She meets you.
Mom, I believe I found at least 2 hands worth of horses and another wagon. It's about X time that direction. They seem to have been abandoned. I fed them. They seem to be very happy with that. I haven't seen anyone around, but by myself, I could not have brought them all back. I thought it would be best for us to gather some willing partners and see if we can get them.
She nods and puts her hand on your shoulder. Do you think it's safe?
I believe it is. However, the house that was attached to the barn gave me a very, very odd feeling. I felt like I was being watched. But if somebody was watching me, why wouldn't they feed the horses? If it was one of those creatures, I would have found them, or they would have found me first.
Whatever you think. We don't want to steal, but maybe there's someone we can help.
Always the wisest, Mother. Let's see if we can help whatever poor soul might be stuck in that house.
And as this conversation, we're going to bring in Father Strider and Venrus and Aspen and Zeph as you all kind of converge on this area. You are the active players in this. The children have all been sequestered inside the stages. They are not allowed out unless it is to eat if there's anything to eat, drink if there's anything to drink, or, use the bathroom. But you're keeping them kind of sequestered, so you don't have to worry about them shooting off behind you or anything at this moment. That doesn't extend for the rest of the campaign. What would you all like to do? We'll assume that you all heard everything that Tiz said as well.
I'm going to turn to the people around. Anybody, as I said, they're full of food, they're ready to stretch their legs a little bit. We have quite a few horses to gather.
Zeph is kind of shifting back and forth on her feet and keeps looking at the stages. I feel not great about leaving them. I mean, I know there are others here, but...
I would assume that we could take them down with us. There is a lake here that we can... It's freshwater source for these horses, and they are done in. If there's hay, we can also feed our horses as well.
I haven't thought of that. You're quite right. It shouldn't be too hard on the horses, although they are currently exhausted. I'm pretty sure if we go slow, we should be able to make it there without too much trouble. However, the sun is about to set, and nightfall is going to be on us. In maybe, can I get a guess on how long? Maybe an hour?
You think about an hour. Of course, everything gets darker inside the canyons of the forest because the horizon's extended because of the size of the trees.
I have the impression that if we leave the horses there for one more night, should be fine. I fed them, so none of them, I believe, will die of starvation.
Guess the question is then, do we want to switch out our horses for the new ones? I'm not sure how much more we can push our own. They seem awfully tired.
And the horses I found were quite thin. They might be a good addition to help carry the load, but switching out horses outright, it's probably not a good idea.
Tiz, you did say there was another wagon, correct?
Yes, one big wagon with a covered top should be enough to transport
Well,
at least half of the children and us.
If we can distribute the weight more properly, then the horses will not get as exhausted. It will make for a better ride to Neverwinter.
Yes, quite right.
So we need to go. The question is, are we taking all of us or just a small party?
I think it would be best for a small party. I don't want to bring the children too close to this home.
The house itself, did it look like it was dilapidated? Or was it still like just a random abandoned house? Or was it still a somehow maintained place?
Oh, it seemed very kept up. It seemed as if that it was lived in very, very recently, as in the past couple days. No weeds in the yard, no.
The
So
world only ended 2 days ago, so
Right, but if it only ended a few days ago, how come the horses were thin like this?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
that is
My
a good
guess-
question.
We could go closer to the house, inspect the interior. It might be a better spot to spend the night. Maybe they have bed, a fire. No, maybe not a fireplace, but maybe they have a better commodities than the two carriage that we have.
That would be nice.
I have a hypothesis regarding your previous statement. We are all going under the assumption that this started in Waterdeep.
Didn't it?
We do not know, friend. What if it came from outside? And
Something,
hit this farmhouse first.
something was strange about them back at the gates when they ignored the horses.
We are on a timer. That's why I was pointing out.
I don't have Twitch pulled up.
Do we?
I say
tonight or wait?
I say we take everyone.
Okay.
We need to get the horses to fresh water.
Yes, and perhaps sharing the stables with those other horses will allow them to recuperate. They'll perhaps faster in companies of other horses. But first, we need to be able to go inside that home or that house and see if it's safe.
It is consensus then.
All right, I'll go around the horses. I'll pet them all nicely to make sure that the bridle, the thing that goes in the mouth, is set correctly on all of them. And as soon as the inspection is done, I can declare to everybody, I believe the horses are okay to trot over to the house. We should be able to make it just in time, perhaps before nightfall.
And as you're going around and doing this, Tiz, even though your spell is faded, the looks that the large eyes of all of the horses, the dozen horses give you, it's just a look of, let us rest. And you can see just each of the sides are just soaked with sweat, lathered up as these horses are. But when you put the bridle in and get the bit correctly set, they kind of adjust themselves, and like the children of Mother they too are, they realize that their job is not yet done for this day. They are ready to go.
I'm going to, without casting a spell, I'm going to whisper to every one of the horses. Well, I'm going to take a while. I'm going to speak to them and say to them that the journey is almost over. We will rest for the night. We need you just a little bit more. I promise you fresh hay and water where we go.
Roll me an animal handling or a persuasion, whichever you'd like.
Good old 14 on the animal handling.
They all seem to look at you, kind of eyeing you, with some of them just kind of looking over, some of them raising their heads, but they all begin to move as the stage pulls out back onto the high road. And is there anything you all want to do? Because quickly this kind of driveway that would probably indicate where Tiz found makes itself known. Lauren.
When's the last time the kids ate?
It's been going on about 18 hours.
Okay. Then what Zeph is going to do, just so they'll have their energy up in case, I don't know, we need to run for any reason, is she's going to pluck 2 sprigs of mistletoe from her hair, and the berries on them are going to start blooming, and she's going to make enough good berries for all 20 kids so that they will have all the nutrition and nourishment they need for the next 24 hours.
They are able to eat those, and you can see immediately that gaunt features and despair turns to a bit of hope and playfulness as the kids kind of come back in among themselves. As you are also dispersing all of this, Lauren, Zeph would notice that Rock has fashioned himself a badge. You're not sure exactly what he's made it from, but he's wearing it, and you realize now that he hasn't stopped his guard and probably hasn't slept since you all have. He's taken a role that was been given to him very seriously.
Rock.
Yeah.
You are doing a very good job.
Thanks.
I have a request of you.
He straightens his back up, but his gaze is a little bent as he looks. Yes, anything?
We are going to have to be going inside this house to see if anyone can help us or if we can help them. And so out here, can you just keep watch as you have been over the rest while we are away?
I will. And you see the huge bags under his eyes and the way that his upper lids just droop. We promise.
Good. Especially that one. And she points over toward Robin. He's very sneaky and small.
He's my friend.
Yes. Good.
I will.
Okay, Rock.
Okay. If there's anything else, you all ride the stages down the drive, which is about a half, 3/4 of a mile. And it's just as the sun begins to slip beneath the horizon of the trees, given a little bit more life as this little valley opens up into the fields beyond the forest, beyond the house, out into the distance. You can see that this is a farmer's plantation. You're not sure, the crops have been, this is harvest time, so you're not sure exactly what was growing here. But as you pull up, you're able to see the house with the tilted shadows as the light dances off the nearby lake and reflects. And for a moment, you all see that weird bending, but you see the barn as Tiz said. And as you all kind of pull up in the turnabout near to where the large covered wagon is, I will ask you this, as Lauren already hinted at it. Are you all going to search the area, or is somebody staying with the children?
I really want to stay with the children.
Then stay with the children. I will tend to the horses first. Get them to water, get them to straw. I would love to have somebody to help me.
I can help. I can leave Twilight Sparkle with the children. And I gesture at my like absolutely glowing pure white fey horse friend. Um, 'cause-
Next time I turn into a horse, that is what I'm going to look like.
He's so pretty.
Just describe Twilight Sparkle from tip to tail for us, as I'm sure many of the kids, especially like Ketz and Can and Truss and definitely anybody that is with either learned of fairy tale stories or just liking the colors, describe as the kids have taken quite a fascination with Twilight Sparkle.
Twilight Sparkle is an absolutely enormous stallion. Just this racehorse looking, probably honestly like taller than me. Pure white, like silvery white hair that just absolutely sparkles. Like shining eyes, just and without like any like it's pure. He's clean, never seems to have any like dirt or anything like that. Yeah, just
Fantastic. And so as this giant, beautiful stallion encapsulates in the imaginations of all of the children, a welcome distraction in this time of horror, I would like to know, well, first off, everybody that hasn't been here, roll me a perception check.
I'm gonna cast guidance on myself because I haven't been spamming it and I feel like I should. So I'm gonna do that.
Sure.
We almost did the 666 again. That would have been awesome.
So 16.
Okay, so with a 16, as the rest of you are taking Tiz at face value for what he was able to find, a 16 gives you the following. In addition to the stable and the covered wagon, you see that the house appears to be abandoned. The only reason why you know that is there are windows that are open. You know that there was a rain the night before. There's still elements of a rain around, but the windows are open, which normally wouldn't, somebody wouldn't have done that with the way that the weather's been. The front door seems to be kind of not unsecured. It's loose. But in addition to that, the number one thing that you find out is that this appears to be a potato farm. And it seems as if harvest in a potato farm, you don't put things in a silo because they'll start to seed. A potato farm is kept in dark areas, but potatoes are also very good little bundles of nutrition. And normally they can be used to feed all manner of things.
Zeph gets really excited because she's definitely stolen, borrowed potatoes before in her life. So she's very excited as she puts this together and tells all of you. If I try to say it, I'm just going to say it like Samwise Gamgee. So they're potatoes.
Potato. Okay, so as everybody is made aware of this, I would like to know, you, the dear group that is northbound on the escape train here at the House of Tilted Shadows, where would you like to go? And who is going where? And who is staying put?
Strider's definitely going to check out the house. Whoever comes with me needs to stay close.
I was taking care of the horses. If I'm done doing so, let me know.
This all happened simultaneously. So Tiz is with the horses. We've got the house. And presumably we have we'll call it the escape train, which is staying with the kids.
I think would really want to stay with the kids.
Okay. I have Zeph there, House Strider, Tiz with the horses. I just need to know where Aspen, and I need to know where Venrus would like to be.
I think Aspen will... how many stories is this house, actually?
Looks like it's one.
Just one. So Aspen will go in the house. Gonna leave Twilight Sparkle, who I have a telepathic connection with the kids, and Aspen is is gonna specifically mention to Rock, hey, you know what? If you want to take a nap, I promise Twilight Sparkle will wake you up if something happens.
Mm,
It's called delegating, and
I
it's a
can't.
good thing to learn.
He rubs his eyes. I can't. Jeff told me to watch.
Well, that's okay because Twilight Sparkle will watch for you. It's like Twilight Sparkle is your deputy.
Can I be honest with you, Sister Aspen?
Yeah?
I'm scared of Zeph, so I'm going to stay awake.
I promise she won't find out.
No, I'm not scared that way. Scared that she'll be disappointed.
I think she would be really disappointed if you fell asleep in the middle of doing something tomorrow. So I think
won't.
a nap might be best for you.
Roll a persuasion check. Super high DC.
I'm gonna take advantage on this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna use 5 of my honor for that. It's 17.
Ooh. Maybe just for a minute, I guess. And you see his already kind of boulder-like shoulders just curl and slump as he just every inch of his tall frame is exhausted as he climbs into the stagecoach. And as soon as he hits the side, he starts to sleep and snore. And you see Pidge as Pidge and Can begin to kind of braid his hair as he's sitting there, and you hear him. He's asleep. So now I need to know, Venrus, where are you going?
He is gonna go to the house, but before he does, he needs to go talk to Zeph real quick. Hi. He kind of just meekly walks up and he just goes, Zeph, I know you're going to stay with the kids, and I need you to do me a favor, okay?
Okay.
Okay, if I don't, I'm not going to say it, but like, you know.
Yeah, don't know. I know. Don't.
And he reaches into his cloak and he just digs around with it, pulls out a tiny little mouse, and he says, "This is Roxy. Please take care of her until I come back, okay? She's very important and smart." Thank you. And I just set it on her shoulder and I walk away.
Wait, then I know that I turn into animals. That means nothing about how good I am with them. Daenerys, come back here.
What? No, I got to go.
Come here.
Okay. I walk back over.
I was going to come back for you.
As soon as she says that, he grabs her and pulls her into a hug.
Oh, I don't know where the mouse is. Thank you.
Shh, it's okay. She'll be good. Okay, goodbye.
Okay.
Runs off.
Zeph is gonna climb on top of one of the stagecoaches so she has the best vantage point to see everything.
Sure. I had to say it twice because I was muted for the first sure. So, Venrus, where are you going? House or horses?
The house.
Okay.
How dark is it?
Well, we'll go.
Is it darkness right now?
No, it's twilight.
Okay,
so,
perfect.
Right. It's that magical time between sleeping and awake. Strider, Aspen, and Venrus, as you all go towards the house, I will ask you this. We now take our perception and our cameras are going to follow you. As I ask this group of 3, do you go into the front door or do you look for another entrance?
Father, I'll defer to you.
I think it would be wise to check for a back entrance.
circle around, stick together.
Possibly you could.
You want me to fly? Yes? Okay. I'll be right back. I'm gonna do a quick little aerial loop to see if I can find any other back doors or side entrances.
There is a back door and a back porch. It seems as if there is also a large kind of loading dock back here, probably used to fill that wagon that you saw or others like it for harvest. Likely this farm was a feeder for Waterdeep because of its proximity.
Okay. As I'm going around at each of the little entrances to this ranch, I'll try and quietly land on the roof and just take a look to see if I see any movement, any smell of zombies, stench of death.
Right. Okay, so you're paying particular attention for that smell. So
Yes.
roll me a perception with advantage as you kind of know what to look for a bit.
Oh.
22 is good.
Yeah.
As you look around with that 22, one more 13 and I'm out of here. As you look around, you see that it's still. You know, it's actually a beautiful spot with the pond and the trees. It's a farm every bit not in disrepair. It's a living, working farm just devoid of anybody living. As far as you can
Are
see.
any of the doors open?
The back door is shut. You can't tell if it's locked or not.
Okay, good. I fly back.
Okay, yeah, you
Well,
land.
There's a back door. Door shut. Didn't check if it was locked. I probably should have. Not very smart. And then there's like a loading dock for all the potatoes. But I didn't see any movement. I didn't see anyone around here.
Well, I definitely think we should not be going in the front door. Whatever we do in here, let us not split up. Stay close to me. The reason for this is I have learned in my mystical arts a way to help us travel more stealthily. And you see him sort of very Doctor Strange-esque, bringing his hands together, making various symbols, locking his fingers around. And then the next thing you know, you feel this sort of wave of coolness wash over your bodies as suddenly you feel a bit more stealthy, a bit more dexterous in your movement.
You feel like you could trace without a pass.
Yes.
Right?
So
All
yeah,
right.
that burned 2 key points for that.
All right, so if you're trying to be quiet, roll me a stealth. If you're going for speed, roll me an athletics. Let me know what you're doing as you are going around to the back door as the trio follows the father back.
So
Are
remember,
we-
whatever you roll is plus 10.
Are we like stealthing? Are we creeping?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's your stealth roll plus 10, so don't stress too much.
I'm real bad. I got an 8.
I got a 34.
Okay,
Well, I
so
guess 18.
34. Oh, we're doing pretty good.
You all seem very stealthy as you get around to the back door. Who's going to try the door?
I'll check it. Is it locked?
It's open.
Yeah. I stealthily open the door.
As you slow it open, you see inside what looks to be kind of an offshoot of a working kitchen. This is a very much like a log cabin open floor plan. You can actually see the front door as it lazily swings for a moment. There's just the light beam. You can't actually see the front where everybody is parked in the stagecoaches, but presumably it's right through that door. As you go in, you see that the kitchen is stocked.
This is definitely supplies that we could be using. I whisper that.
Shall we start loading up?
Okay.
We should check out the rest of the house, no? First?
Yes. I reach into my bag and I pull out some chalk. On doors, rooms that we clear, let's mark it off.
Brilliant idea, Veneris, as always. Yeah, so we progress further.
Okay, so you bypass the kitchen. You notice that there is a door kind of leading deeper into the side of the home. There are no stairs that go up, so you assume that this is all on one floor, but there is a prominent doorway that seems to lead directly off of the main room.
Is that in the direction? Let me ask you in character. Veneris, given how we came into the building, does that look like that door would lead to wherever this loading dock was?
Do I know that?
The loading dock would be kind of adjacent or beside the kitchen, the room that you were in. This is running kind of perpendicular to that.
It's running perpendicular to where it should be.
Oh, but regardless, we have to check it.
Who's going to open the door?
I'll keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, is it locked?
It's open.
I stealthily open it.
Okay, so you slow it open, and you see that this particular room seems to be a great master bedchamber. And you see that there are figures under the covers in the bed of this master bedchamber.
I would like to use my divine sense. Until the end of my next turn, I know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet that's not behind total cover. I just want to
Nothing.
I don't think they're undead.
It would appear that the residents of this ranch house may or may not have passed away.
Would you like me to go check?
I think it would probably be safer if I did, my friend.
If you insist, Father.
I'm gonna move and just stay next to you, like, as you check.
I'm gonna follow in, but I'm keeping like an eye out of the room in case someone like charges towards us.
Are you all going into the room like the Golden Girls, or are you are you sending one person in at a time?
I would think that Aspen and I would be going in, and Veneris would be in the doorway.
I'm like right in the doorway.
Okay. Which side of the bed do you go up to? The right or the left?
These choices are insane.
Oh, wait. Father,
Yes.
do we need to like poke them awake, or can I just throw something at them?
I'm having a feeling that they might not be asleep, friend.
Okay.
With that, I would go to which side of the bed is the least impeded towards the doorway?
They're both equally unimpeded.
Okay. You're not making this any easier. Okay. Given my last decision, I thought was right was wrong. I think I will choose left.
Okay. As you pick the left-hand side of the bed, and as you creep around stealthily, and as your centaur friend creeps around surprisingly stealthily. Let's roll one more stealth check to see if you make it around the bed stealthily. So far, you're aces, but
30.
Another 18.
for Aspen.
And you make it around, and just as you make it around, you are, as you see the left side, you see an arm hanging out from beneath this bedspread, this comforter. It is gray. And there is a chain dangling from it. But let's cut back outside. As we cut back outside to the stagecoach roundup, Tiz has just walked into the barn. Everybody else presumably is stealthily crept around to the back of the house. Lauren, I'm going to ask you to roll a perception check for me.
I'm gonna cast guidance again because I haven't spammed it all campaign. I'm gonna do it now.
Sure.
Meditate. Hold on. Do, 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 do. 10. Strong 10.
Okay. You're looking around. Like you said, you have a vantage point that you believe you can catch everything from. And as you are looking around, you notice once again that's a beautiful spot here. Roll me another perception check.
Same thing. Oh, that's better. Oh my god, no more D4s for me. 21.
You kind of snap to a bit as you turn around and you hear a snap of a twig. And as you look, you see on the forest as it extends around the corner by the lake, you see Megan as she disappears into the forest, and you see Father Strider standing there. Come, my child, come. And when the hand of Father Strider drops onto the shoulder of Megan, his eyes, so familiar to you, look up, and you see a glint of a smile in them as into the shadows they go.
No. I'm going to... Damn it. I'm going to... How far away are they?
About 50 feet.
Okay, that's cool. Good. Oh, that's a good point. That's Aspen. I am going to I'm gonna jump on I'm going to jump onto Twilight Sparkle just to get a little closer. And then what I would like to do is actually I actually want to entangle Megan as I ride up to her.
Okay, we are going to roll what they call in the biz initiative.
Okay.
To see who gets to work and do their fun things first.
Yes.
It looks like you do, as you are able to jump down onto Twilight Sparkle, who I imagine sounds like Nick Cage if they could talk. And I don't know why. It's the Con Air type.
Perfect. I'm so happy. So, yep, I'm not going to say what I thought, but I am on the horse and I got the mouse and I'm going to stop Megan from proceeding.
Okay, so what is the movement speed of Twilight Sparkle or Twilight Cage? Nick Sparkle.
War horse? Because they fast.
Yeah, it is. For all intents and purposes, it is a war horse. Except the bay.
So 60 feet.
Okay, so you're able to close almost to the tree line. Of course, Twilight Sparkle can't enter the tree line as this is a pretty dense... I mean, you can kind of crash into it. You would not be able to see where you're going, though. Just as Megan is being ushered by Father Strider away, you are doing what?
I am basically... my idea was to stop Megan from following him by entangling her. I forget how big entangle is. I might be able to get... Oh, I could have done that from back there. It's fine. It's a 20-foot square.
Okay, and what are we looking at as far as saves? Megan will...
Save.
Yeah, Megan will automatically fail because that's just
Yeah.
how I'm doing certain things with the kids. And then you say it is another save. Let me roll this.
Strength save. That makes it. So he's not restrained, but it's difficult terrain for him.
Okay, are you done with your...
Can I... I suppose I can't. Is it possible to insert myself between her and him?
Make an acrobatics check if you want to jump from Twilight Sparkle, Nick Sparkle, Twilight Cage, and...
Okay. So I can do that, though. That's good. I'm glad.
It's a nat 20. So yeah, you land in between of the two of them. You are now within your own entanglement, but we're just going to say caster's privilege as you land, and it doesn't affect you. But nor did it affect Father Strider, who's standing there in front of you. And as you land in front of Father Strider, you see his form bleed away.
Cool.
And there is a protrusion of green, wrinkled skin and long hair damp with the lake water as the creature attacks you.
Cool.
16?
That just hits. Cool.
For 15 slashing as...
Yeah.
And the creature looks at you, a cackle rising from inside the drenched throat, bubbling from nose and from mouth as it... And then it... And it just takes a slice right out of you. But let's cut to Tiz. Tiz, you're in the barn. What are you doing?
Well, I was tending to the horses, making sure that they are fed and watered. Do I at any point hear any kind of commotion? Such as a horse galloping away.
Roll me a perception check.
All right. I'm going to use that D12. That's something I can use here?
Absolutely, yes. You can use it at any time that you would like. This is a special inspiration from the bard herself, so you are able to roll, and then you can elect to use it after your roll, which I'm nice to do.
Okay, in that case, let's see how much I roll in perception, and I'll see if I need it. Okay, I'm going to use it.
Okay.
Roll
the D12.
D12. Don't fail me now. Yeah.
So with a dirty 20, you do in fact hear commotion coming from beyond the stagecoaches towards the lake, towards the water, and towards the woods. And you also hear movement in the hayloft behind you. And as you turn to recognize that sound, you see two silhouetted outlines rise up from the loft as they begin to move toward you.
Well, I know it's none of us. I can only assume they're hostile. How far away from me are they?
They're up in the loft, so they're a good 25, 30 feet away.
But they're up while I'm down.
They have the high ground.
Yeah, and I am not gonna jump. That's stupid. I know how that works.
Clearly, they've already won the battle.
Yeah, clearly. I want to engage them, but I want them to come out from there because I would like to taunt them to bring them to me.
Okay. Roll me. I'll take a persuasion check here because taunting is just that, except it's aggressive, and it makes you feel bad.
14.
14. You see that the two silhouettes don't seem to react too terribly to it, but they move towards the edge, and in the gloom, you see that they are prepping to jump down. And as you're standing there, are you backing out of the barn to lure them, like...
Away from the horses, yes, absolutely.
Okay. You hear the whinnies that are coming from the horses, and though your spell is not up, these are the same whinnies that you heard before, the same sounds that came from the echoing throats of these steeds as you hear, and if your spell was up, you would hear, hungry, so hungry, 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 hungry.
I don't know what they are, but they're bastards. Alright, so they're moving toward me. They have not jumped down or anything else.
They're moving towards you, and what we're going to do now is we're going to cut back inside the house just as we have Father Strider and Aspen staring at the bed. What would you guys like to do inside?
That's not normal.
No, it is not. I do not think we need to worry about being stealthy.
What do you see?
Dead things, Veneris. Dead things.
Oh.
Can I try and perceive if they died of natural causes?
Sure, yeah. You can CSI this shit.
And they're not undead or fiends?
No.
Okay.
It's almost like your DM checked to see what powers you had.
Okay, so well, first I would like to poke them with a stick, literally with my quarterstaff.
You're on the left-hand side, so you poke.
At full quarterstaff length.
Okay, full length, holding the tip, you like kind of broom handle. No response. But I will allow Veneris to roll me a perception check.
Shit.
Oh man, I'm nervous. Okay, here we go. Keeping such a good eye out. No, I'm not.
Veneris, it's just at that moment that your eye catches something back in the kitchen, and you're like, "Is that jam? That's jam!" And you found some jam.
Guys, I found jam.
There's no response from the high surgical poking that you're giving this. It's, you know.
So yeah, with that, I'll scooch in a bit closer, keeping the quarterstaff in constant contact with the body in case I need to push back suddenly.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just sort of take a look and see if I can tell the manner in which these, whatever they are, died.
Okay, are you gonna like examine the arm, pull back the blanket?
Pull back the blanket.
Okay. As you pull back the blanket, I would like Aspen and Veneris to roll me. Veneris, you're occupied with the jam. Aspen, you roll me a perception check. Father Strider, you get a nat 20 on this one anyway, because you get to see everything no matter what.
All right.
Then
It is Jam, Aspen. As you look back through the door and catch just at,
Aspen.
just at that moment when you're God's be praised.
Team OP,
So-
yes.
So as Father Strider, you take the moment to pull back the blanket. It sticks for a second on some type of dried fluid as it pulls, and you see hair kind of pull away a bit with it. And you see the body of what you can only imagine to be a farmer. However, the man is dressed in rather upscale garb for somebody that tilled the earth. So you imagine this is probably the owner of this farm. Around his neck appears to be some type of dazzling crystal. And you see that it's kind of with the state of himself and the rundown nature of his body, it gleams even the brighter. And as you pull back the spread, had Venerus not been occupied by Jam, or Aspen agreeing with the discovery of the jam, they would have noticed that the bed was moving on the right-hand side. And as you pull back the cover, you see two creatures, seemingly made of straw, launch themselves at you. This is a surprise round unless you have something that keeps you from being surprised.
I have alert.
You're not surprised, but Father Strider is.
No.
So I am going to go ahead, and unless we have anything that can help the father here, a 5 and an 8, a 13, let's see, it'd be a 16. Does that hit the father?
Just hits on the 16.
Okay. And that would mean the 19 would hit as well. I need you to take take 12 points of slashing damage. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
you get a +2 on your wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
I give off an aura of protection now, so if you're anywhere near me,
Oh, aren't you
within 10 feet.
fancy?
Yeah.
14.
As you just pass what is required, you feel your bowels begin to shake a bit as these creatures with wild, flaming, malevolent eyes pop up, seemingly one of them curled around the dead farmer like a spooned up lover, but they extend and slash with these arms, their odd bending of their bodies betraying their very inhuman construction as they launch themselves at you. When we come back to you all, it'll be initiative time. But we're back to the barn right now, Gambit, as you see two more of these creatures land in front of you as the horses continue to look at them and say, "Hungry, hungry, hungry," as these straw men rush you. I need an initiative from our barbarian, and I will roll one for our scarecrows outside. Look at that. What is your modifier? We're giving it to you anyway. Always goes to the player. You get the first swing as these two creatures rush out to you.
Well, firstly,
But-
I would like to rage.
Sure thing. And I will give you a free perception check as well, Gambit.
Oh, I shall perceive. With a good old 16.
Gambit, when you turn around, you see that Aspen is talking to Rock at the stagecoach. And it appears that Rock is climbing out with Pidge and getting onto the back of Aspen.
Okay. In that case, in my most booming voice, I will call for Aspen to come and help me and to secure the kids. Loud enough for anybody inside to also hear me, if all possible.
Sure, we'll see if they do when we get back to that.
Okay. And of course, good old rage, and I will pummel, I guess, one of the straw men with my mole.
I will tell you this, because you were awarded the extra 10 feet of movement, you have the ability to clear the distance, but you will produce opportunity attacks from both of the scarecrows. If you want to...
I was going against the scarecrows.
Correct. This is,
Okay.
I tell you what, roll an insight check for me here if you can see if you can divine that there's something wrong with this scene. That might be the best way to go about this, to see
Okay.
if what the dice tell you.
Nah, it's fine.
If you want to spend 10 honor, I'll give you the nat 20.
I shall, and I will be at 0.
Okay. So with
honor.
0 honor, you realize that this is not Aspen. And just as you realize this, a cold chill dancing up your spine, the creature with Aspen's face and eyes turns and looks at you and smiles, the teeth rotted and black.
Well, there's only one thing for me to do. Is to get after them. Well, after that, and get the kids back in the carriage.
Okay. So as you run towards this creature, you produce 2 opportunity attacks. One of them is a nat 20, which will be 12 slashing damage, halved to 6, as you did mention you were raging, as you get hit in the back as one of these creatures swipes down against you. But you are able to make it to this false Aspen before they can leave the stagecoach area. What do you want to do, my friend?
If I strike at the false Aspen, I have a chance of hitting the kids.
No, you're a professional. I don't play that shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, I shall maul that fake Aspen. All the while, still, I will have like the loudest battle cry that my tiny form can produce.
Absolutely. So as the tiny half-orc Tiz launches after getting struck by a scarecrow, roll your attack, my friend.
Absolutely.
Oh, there we go. So you take control here, my friend. I want you to roll damage, but I want you to describe exactly what happens when Tiz breaks free, gets hit by this scarecrow, but then makes his run to intercept.
So the kids are currently on the back of fake Aspen, correct?
Correct.
Let's see. 22. That seems like it's a lot of damage. I will run. And as I'm running, I'm going to prep myself just like a baseball player and just swing across the torso. I'm hoping to get some ribs in there, broken and inward into the lungs.
Fantastic. And what happens with all of that exactly as you do it, as you come in for
Hold
a
on.
moment?
Just a second. I believe with Savage Attack, when I score a critical hit, which is the case, I can roll one of my weapons damage additional time and add it to the extra damage of a critical attack.
Let's do that then.
Therefore, 2d6. Would that be plus my strength?
I think it's just the damage of the weapon. Yeah.
Okay,
So just
cool. That works for me. 2d6. Come on, Vegas.
that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
31.
So as you come in and blast this thing, because of the nat 20, I always like cool stuff to happen on nat 20s. Not only do you come in and blast this creature, it smashes up against the stagecoach, rocking the on its suspension, but both Rock and Pidge kind of come out of whatever they were in, and Rock grabs Pidge and jumps back into the stagecoach as the small halfling pulls the door closed behind them. And in front of you, you see the centaur form of Aspen bleed away as the gnarled green skin of this wet, dripping hag appears in front of you. The hag will be on the initiative of everybody else. We are going to have some things happen here. Let's see what we've got. A 9 is definitely not going to hit you, as we have the scarecrows run up, but they cannot make it the whole way because you outdistance them by 10 feet. So on the next round, they will be at your back. You have one more round, my friend, facing up with this hag. What would you like to do?
I'm going to pummel that bitch down.
I like let's do it. Let's do it. How about another nat 20?
I want to.
Is that too much? That's not too much to ask. We can get another nat 20 in here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hold on. I don't play Barb often, so I just need to double check Rage, what it gives me, because Okay, so I have a bonus on my attack that is equal to my Barb level on the attack only, correct? Okay.
Oh. Had something come in. Hold on.
If I include my level, that would mean 17 to hit.
Okay, so with the attack as it comes in, it would have hit anyway, I believe. No, actually, no. But it just hits as you're able to strike. Roll your damage for this.
11.
Okay, 11 more damage to this creature in front of you as you have blistered for 46 points of damage so far in these first 2 rounds. And do you have anything else you would like to do as you are engaged with the hag and you can hear these shambling creatures coming up behind you?
I'm going to stay right there and protect the kids from this carriage from all 3 of those. I'm trying to think of anything else that I can do, but I think that's about it.
Then, my friend, take 15 honor as you are standing against overwhelming odds to save the children. The children are all beginning to scream here as we cut back to the woods, as we have Zeph and we have her friend juxtaposed between the two. Zeph, what would you like to do?
Is Megan kind of snapped out of it as well?
She's fallen behind you and is kind of scrambling away. We're just going to say once again, caster's prerogative.
Yeah,
She's able to get out of her.
I'll let the entangled go anyway.
Okay.
Is she... Can I tell her to get on the horse and ride back? Is she able to do that?
Absolutely, though. The Twilight Sparkle, or Twinkle, Sparkle, Twinkle, whatever, flips their mane, and it looks just like Nick Cage's hair and Con Air.
Yeah,
and yes, Megan's able to actually be picked up by Sparkle, and Sparkle takes him off.
That's helpful. Okay. Now, this bitch. If I look back over my shoulder, can I see what's going on with Tiz back there?
You can see that there's definitely some more problems by the stage, but he's on the other side of the stagecoaches. Okay. So you get flat. You turn around just as Rock jumps back in and closes the door, and you hear the kids begin to scream. Obviously, there's something terrible on the other side.
Great. Okay. So Zeph is pissed. I don't understand why people are like this. So she's going to put 2 fingers in her mouth and whistle, and 8 wolves are going to come out of the woods and fuck a hag up. Hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah. For starters.
Okay.
Cool. They all give each other advantage.
Because the pack mentality.
Yeah.
Yes. I know. Okay, so as the big bads have jumped out of the forest to fight the big bad hag, you can roll me 8 attacks if you want. You can
Well, yeah, it attacks at advantage. Okay. Hold on.
We'll get back to you in a minute.
Yeah. My idea is to fuck her up and then, go back and guard the coach.
I tell you what we'll do. Let's do a little bit of like heavy armor or heavy army tactics here. If you're going to hoard her up with this pack, I will allow you to. I will allow you to make a athletics check or an acrobatics check with advantage to disengage, or you can take the disengage. You can't. You already cast.
Right.
But I will allow you to make your movement with advantage to get away and basically leave the hag swarmed with your pack for as long as that lasts. And then I do my little DC calculator thing, and we'll see how long they keep her where she needs to be.
Same for me moving.
Okay, so yeah, you're able to bust free as you go forward, and you see Megan and Sparkle riding off ahead. You have your movement and presumably a bonus action. Is there anything else you want to do? You're not going to be able to get back to the stagecoaches because you rode Sparkle to get here. Sparkle can get back to the stagecoaches.
Right. Let's see. Just trying to think what's going to be better. Yeah, I will, I'll turn into a direwolf so I can get back. So,
Okay.
wolfs around, turn into a direwolf, which gives me 50 feet of movement, and book it. Yeah.
Okay, so you're able to book back tours as you turn into a direwolf and begin to go. The howls of the pack in appreciation of your new form as we go back inside to see as two are converging on the stagecoaches outside. As inside, let's get some initiative with our friends. 19 for me. Okay.
Hold on. I must spend 5 on her to get advantage on this initiative.
And with it,
okay.
yeah, we got it. So we got Strider, the Scarecrows, unless they've got a. Let me check real quick and make sure that I don't think they have a bonus. No. Followed by Neris and Aspen. Strider, what do you want to do as these two are on you?
Let's see. So I am going to quarterstaff the first one. Let's see. $25 to hit.
That'll do it.
And this also gets sneak attack. So 6 plus the sneak attack damage, which is 8. So 14 damage on that one. And then I'm going to spend my final key point to do Flurry of Blows. So that is, I'm going to do one of the unarmed strikes to that one, the one that I've been hitting.
Okay.
Another 25 to hit.
Again, that'll hit. Just barely.
For 6 damage.
Okay.
So that's a total of 20 damage to him. How's he looking?
Pretty good as far as the Scarecrow goes.
Yeah. All right. And then I'm going to kick the other one with an unarmed strike. Wow.
Another 25. Okay.
What the hell? Okay. For 6 damage as well. And then I'm going to back away.
Opportunity attacks?
No. No. Swashbuckler.
Oh. That's right. So yes, you're able to back away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm done.
It is their turn. They run back up on you.
Well, I was standing right behind Father Strider, so if he moved back, they should have to go past me, right?
This is a very small room. This is not like, if you back, are you running clear of the room past Venerus, or are you?
No, but I would get as far away as possible. I would get essentially trying to juxtapose them to where they're going to have to break off to one or more people. So I would go to the opposite side of the room as from where Aspen is.
Okay, so then they would stop and they would both attack Aspen. Oh, give me one sec. Boom.
Sorry, I tried to split them up. Sorry.
14. No. That won't hit. 17 or 16.
Nope.
16 still no. And that's not going to hit as they come up and they ging, 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 ging off of the centaur's frame. Venerus, you are up. Venerus, roll me a perception check.
He's gonna find some bread to toast for the jam.
6. There's more jam, you guys. There is so much jam here.
Venerus turns around. There's so much fucking jam. Scarecrows. Go ahead. So you're up.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Guys, there is so much jam, but this is not the time for jam. So I'm going to attack using my longbow. But first, bonus action hex on one of them.
Which one?
Venerus, we are in quite a jam in here too, friend.
Which one looks a little bit more torn up?
1.
Okay, I'll go for 1. So that one has hex on it. And let's go longbow. Oh, question. We're inside the house. Are we in darkness?
No. I mean, you can. The humans can see. Whenever the humans can't see, that's good for you.
Yeah. Okay. Longbow attack 1. That's a natural 1. Attack number 2. That's a 23.
That'll hit.
So let's roll damage for that. 7 plus. We get a D6. 12 total for damage.
Okay.
And then, because I'm a dread ambusher, I get one more attack first round. So let's see if I can hit.
Let's do it.
3.
That's gonna hit.
Okay, so that's gonna do 4 plus another D6. And I get a D8 on top of that, an extra 1. So that's gonna be 10 total. So good.
Nice.
And then I am going to... Am I like right behind Aspen?
You're all in a triangular pattern, courtesy of Father Strider, who has moved off to the corner. You're by the door with your point guard Aspen by the bed.
Okay, cool. I just want to take a peek down the hallway. There's just shadows there. Kitchen, jam. Okay, cool. That's my turn.
Okay. Let's see, who's up now? Oh, did I skip? No, Aspen, you were supposed to go next, weren't you? I'm sorry.
No, I'm after Venerus.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was reading the first one. Go right ahead, Aspen.
By this point, has Twilight Sparkle experience? Where are we at outside at this point?
At this point, Twilight Sparkle you would be hearing it in a very Nick Cage-esque voice. There's something wrong out here.
There's something wrong outside. I can hold these two. You two go outside, help the children. And then, for my action, I'm going to use Steering Smite as my bonus action. And then I will attack the one that looks more hurt.
Okay.
with my sword. Got a 13.
That hits. They're scarecrows.
Okay, so first we have regular damage. What? No, damage. Roll damage.
Yeah, you can click longsword in the roll column over there, and it'll roll damage for you. So wherever it says 21 melee longsword, click your longsword. There we go.
It's just rolling the attack though, because that was the D20. I don't know how to make it. Okay.
Yeah, if you click like see where it says 7 melee and then longsword, if you actually put your mouse over the longsword, it'll highlight it, and then you'll be able to roll the damage.
That's what it was doing. I don't know.
Oh,
okay.
It wasn't. Okay, well,
I don't know why it's not working, but I can just roll that.
There we go.
And then it also does 2 fire damage and is on fire.
And it's that fire damage that makes the scarecrow burst as it is consumed, as you see its features just get eradicated. The hellish, sinister nature of this visage is burned away to the pleasant smell of burning hay and straw. And we are going to go back up to the top of the round as
Wait, I do have
Oh.
a second attack.
Oh yeah, good, right, yeah, please.
So I'm going to use my second attack. So is it like dead?
It doesn't look alive. It never really
Okay.
did, but it doesn't
Well,
look like it's moving.
Is it moving?
No, it's not.
Okay. So then yeah, I'm gonna attack the other one. No more fiery sword, just regular sword.
Just straight up. Gotcha. That'll do
That
it.
is a 20 for 9. Just regular.
9. Gotcha. Okay, anything else? Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go back up to the round that I'm going to ask before the round starts. Strider and Veneris, what are you doing? Are you following the orders of Aspen?
I honestly don't think anybody should be left alone. So,
That's why I'm asking. You don't have to follow the orders.
Father,
Yeah.
you want to stay here?
So far, like everybody that has gone off alone has died. So, yeah, Father Strider will stay here since you're at the door.
So, Veneris, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna go off on my own and see if I can make it back to the carts.
Are you going to fly out the front door or the back door?
Well, we're
Or
next to
run.
the back door, so I'm gonna go out the back and up and over.
Okay. As soon as you go out the back door, I would like you to roll a perception check with advantage.
I thought you were gonna say
You're dead.
a save, yeah. I've gone off on my own. I'll be right back. Ooh, I'm just really preoccupied with jam right now.
Yeah, we'll say you grabbed a jar of it on your way out. It was a DC 10 because what you see in front of you, with the twilight as the sun is dropping behind the horizon, and the fields that were once filled with potatoes are now filled with something else. As you smell something becoming way too familiar. And as you look out into these fields that stretch to the south, you see, rough guess, 200 creatures rushing through the fields.
Have I left the house yet?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, fuck. I want to. Can I dart back to them to quickly relay this message of doom?
You sure can.
We've got company, like 200 of them. We need to leave, like now. And then I dart off. I'm going back for the carts.
You get that out inside the kitchen by the jam that you so love when we cut back out to the carriage as Gambit is facing now 3 of these creatures. What would you like to do, my friend? We're going to have you go ahead, and I'm going to put you at the top of this order because of the nat 20. So Gambit, and then the hags and the scarecrow that are on you. You hear hell kind of collapsing as a dust cloud, even with the fresh rain, seems to rise from the south. No perception check needed. Something's coming.
I'm pretty sure if we get in the house, we're not gonna be safe. Although, okay, I'm currently busy with a hag that's right in front of me, so I will punt it with my mole.
Punt away.
17.
That's perfect punting.
Good old 9. But since I'm raging, I add +2, so 11.
Nice. She does not look happy.
That sucks.
Sucks to be her.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you'd like to do, my friend, as you feel the press of these constructs, these scarecrows, as they reach you from behind? Do you bonus or anything else?
I will. If I bonus, the only thing I can do is a unarmed strike, correct?
Correct. Like an offhand. Well, no, you're double handing the maul, so technically, I'll let you have one. Whatever, if you want to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to punch the hag. I need that thing down now. So let's see how that goes.
Let's punch a hag. Now.
Nope.
Okay.
However,
yes.
I need the hag to go down. I will spend a 10 honor to roll 24.
That sounds good. Go right ahead.
6 damage.
And with 5 hit points left, as you drop you tell me how you take her out. Fist, elbow, whatever it is.
Oh, I'm going to go with the good old-fashioned soccer, and I will headbutt the hag straight in her face.
And with a horrific crunch, as you smash through whatever goes for hag nose cartilage and facial skull integrity, suddenly fails as the creature splats with the sound of a lily pad thrown against a cement wall. Just a and as she falls back and slides down the stagecoach, you feel the press of the 2 scarecrows behind you as they attack. 17. That won't. Another 17. You people have high ACs.
Oh, hold on. I was looking at the dice. 17 hits. I have
Okay,
50.
Okay, so that would be 12 slashing damage as you have that to 6 as these creatures fall upon you. It's at this point that over your shoulder, the arrival of not only Nick Sparkle, but the dire wolf running Zeph. Zeph, you smell these things. And so do the horses, both in the stable and on the stagecoaches.
Cool. Are all the children present and accounted for?
As far as you can tell, yeah. It looks good. Meaning, yes, they're all there.
Yes. Okay, cool, cool. Great. Really. I'm going to howl. I will assume that at least Veneris knows that, even though he's already on his way out here, but I don't know that. So, yes, I will howl. And can I see if I hop back up on the stagecoach again? Can I see where they're coming from, or are they still not in line of sight yet?
Are you talking like in direwolf form? If you jump up on top of the stagecoach, roll me a perception check.
Okay. I think I get advantage on this as a direwolf. 16.
You with a 16, even in direwolf form, and with your sense of smell and the stench that's coming off of these things, you can tell they're coming from the south at a rapid pace. I'm even going to tell you, it looks like they're going to be here maybe 4 or 5 minutes. They're running.
Okay. If from what we know, I mean, can the horses that we have them on make it away from them?
One thing I
don't
can
know.
tell you is this: the horses we had were beyond the point of exhaustion. The
Yeah.
horses that were here, if they were real horses, they were hungry like hell, but they could potentially not house, but allow people to ride on them. We don't have any kind of saddles for them, though. We probably have time to rebridle some of them, but
Here's the devil's bargain, everybody.
finally.
You still have Aspen and Tizzle. You all are going to have to deal with your respective bad guys for the moment. And we'll get back to that in a second. I have a free Veneris, a free Strider, and a direwolf formed Zeph. If you all want to try to do something that gets those horses that are real horses from the stable into a position where they can either be hooked to the covered wagon or replaced out, switched out with the horses that are on the stagecoach team, it's going to require the more humans that are working on that, the quicker you can get it done. So I need to know what you would like to do, or if you want to try to roll with the horses that you have.
Right now, though, the horses that we have are currently not attached to the wagons because I took them out to drink and eat.
Correct. It's all depending upon what you would like to do.
Okay, so the ones of us that are free should work on the switch and back up. If we don't do this in time, 2 giant eagles are taking the kids and nobody else.
There's enough
let's
eagles
go.
for those?
A
Huh?
plan it.
There's enough eagles to get all the kids and mother?
Yeah, and that's about it.
Well, there'd be some Sophie's choices there, but
I could take some too then, and so could Aspen's horse.
yeah, Nick Sparkle stands ready.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to do. The scarecrows are easily dispatched. We're going to say what damage you have taken is the damage that you have. However, I want to go back inside the house seconds after the arrival of the direwolf, the realization of 4 or 5 minutes until they hit. As all these things come into play, the scarecrow in the bedroom falls down. It is destroyed by Aspen. It's a hand wave. You all can take out scarecrows. You're all inside the house, and Veneris, as you turn back around after you yell out what's happened, I want you to make one final perception check.
God.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
That was Aspen and not Veneris.
Oh, I thought you said sorry.
Come on, get
No,
that jam.
that's perfectly fine.
I'm gonna use 5 honor points for advantage. $12.
Everything looks good. Which way are you leaving?
I'm going up and over to towards the stables.
Back or front door?
That, well, I'm closest to the back. Can I see the front door?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I already flew out the back door and came back, so I'm assuming it's clear. I'm gonna go. Well, which one's closer to the potatoes?
Back door.
Oh shit. Book it. Out the back door towards the stables. Up and over. Here we go. Oh.
Aspen, you look you look over your shoulder as you look out past through the door, just as you dispatch the scarecrow, Father Strider staying with you to make sure things get done correctly. There is a brilliant orange and green flash. The arcane symbols that had been placed upon the door, not noticed by Veneris, as he came back around and grabbed the back door and opened it. You take 28 points of fire damage as you get thrown 20 feet back into the house. As you come to a rest, the smoke and the eldritch energy coming off of you, the house begins to burn.
Half because I am resistant, so 14.
I just wanted to use the house as a backup plan, but, let's just make it go up in flame.
Oh, fuck. That hurt.
So everyone would see this whoom, as there is a huge intake and a huge explosion that kind of mushrooms up. Not unlike the explosions from Waterdeep, but decidedly different enough to not be the same, but the explosion itself is the same. Strider and Aspen, what will you do?
What the heck was that?
Ow.
Aspen, we need to move now.
Deal.
As quickly as possible, we need to get back to the kids and get out of here.
Yes.
But I want to take this trinket with us because I feel, for whatever reason, this man did not die and turn. And I think this trinket might have something to do with it. It could be very valuable.
Grab it. Let's go.
For Mother.
And I'm just gonna grab Veneris, and kind of prop him up and
Oh, God. Okay.
start. So, are there still arcane sigil-y things on the back door?
The back
Is
door's
it,
burning. The kitchen's burning. You can't tell. I mean, it's basically an inferno from that area back, as the entire back of the house is being taken to flame. You can look around if you want to roll a perception check.
Yes, I would like to.
Looks
one's
good.
Terrible. Not even any jam?
No, all the
I've
jams.
taken all of it. I've just been stuffing it in my backpack. I'm jingling now.
I guess I'm just gonna kind of charge towards the front door.
Okay. What order are you grabbing Veneris and going across, or how are you doing this? Veneris, you're okay. You can make it on your own. I just want to know who's going through the front door first.
Probably
Wait,
me.
hold on.
Oh.
Aspen.
As Aspen
look at the
crosses the
door.
front.
No. Oh, God. I think both doors are trapped.
Another explosion rocks the front door as the frame splinters inward. 18 fire damage to Aspen, halved for our friend behind. This is not a saving throw because it's an area of effect and you have nowhere to go. So Barnacle is refreshed and ready to ride for some reason. Barnacle's looking good. Yeah. So as those explosions go off and the house is aflame, I would like, as the Father Strider reaches down and grabs the trinket, I would like a charisma saving throw.
Oh, of course. Of course.
You get +2 if you're within 10 feet
yeah.
of me still.
No,
I'm not.
you're burning.
I'm going to spend 5 on this for advantage.
Wait, did she not get pushed 20 feet back into the house?
No, it didn't do over 20 damage. You're okay.
Oh.
Okay. As you grab the necklace, you hear a voice.
Oh, fucking sentient necklace. Okay.
They did it. 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 Over and over again.
Okay.
With your nat 20, as you pull the necklace free, It exposes for a minute a bit of the collar of the man that had worn it, and you see a druidic symbol tattooed along his neck. They did it. They did it. They did it.
Would any type of check help me recognize this druidic symbol?
Here's the devil's bargain. You believe there's more information to be had from this necklace. However, you can't move as you're getting the information.
Okay. I'd like to spend one round getting information.
That's not how it works, but
Okay,
if you
how-
want to...
Break it down for me, Greg. Tell me how does it work?
You haven't asked the question yet. If you give in to it, then we'll see how long it lasts. But time is a tricky thing when dealing with a sentient being. One that doesn't worry about things like seconds and minutes.
I'll hold off till we get clear.
Roll an insight check.
Nine.
You hear the voice. They did it. They did it. They did it. It's getting weaker and weaker and weaker.
God.
Father?
Oh, I hate you, Greg. They did what?
Let's cut back outside as Aspen and Veneris, as you're smoking with this eldritch energy, Father Strider roots in place as he's standing there holding the necklace in his hand. He is, for all intents and purposes, a statue. Outside, we have a wolf and we have a half-orc, more like Kevin Hart than Shaquille O'Neal, who is going to help put the horses back on the stagecoach, because at this point, it's all hands on deck.
Yeah, Zeph would change, obviously, to help do this.
Okay. So I'm going to allow this brief moment. I want animal handling checks from Gambit and Lauren. And I need to know right now what our friends Jordan and Audrey are going to do with their characters. Are you staying with Father Strider, or are you getting out to rehitch these horses?
No, after you.
Are we trapped inside the building? Do we still need to find a way out, or are the doors just blown up?
There's fire. You can definitely just kind of like jump through the flames, you know. We had Nick Cage in here already, so it's like a Michael Bay movie. Fire doesn't hurt after it goes off. Like you can run through it and play with it. It's only when it explodes it hurts.
Is he's rooted to the ground?
If you want to go check and see if you can move him, that's going to be what you do right now.
Aspen, we can't leave him.
I'll get him. You go. Strider, I'm gonna like shout at him. If he doesn't respond, I'm gonna run towards him.
Aspen runs back into the bedroom area. You are now with Father Strider. Veneris, what do? You see, you know, the screamings from the kids as they realize what's going on out there, as Tiz and Zeph just hustle trying to get these things hitched up. You've seen the Horde. You know it's coming. You know what's at stake here.
Are there any more rooms we haven't looked in this house?
Are you going to search? Is that your action at this moment?
Do I see any more doors before I announce that? Like if I'm very curious if there's like any more rooms in this building, but if there's not, like I'm not going to stay in here.
If you search, that's going to be what you do for right now.
Oh, we don't have time for that. Okay, I'm going. I'm not good with animals, but I'm gonna go help.
It lowers the DC for however many people we have out there.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I'll fly out and help.
okay, so the 3 people that are out there, I'd like you to make for me 2 animal handling checks, please.
2
Not with
each.
advantage. 2 each, please.
All right.
One of them will be with advantage. I will spend my last 5 honor
Yeah.
points.
That
Gotcha.
was my question. Greg, did I get any advantage, any honor points for going after Megan? Just so I
Yeah,
know.
15. I'm sorry. I should have said 15. You went off by yourself.
What about scouting the building? That get any?
You already got that before. Come
Okay,
on.
I'm gonna use 2 advantages then.
Oh, I am so helpful right now.
13.
Put the jam down.
13 and 17.
Got
Okay,
a-
yeah,
I got
you're.
a 2 and a 19.
Yeah, you all have averaged up enough. So what we're going to say is I'm going to allow you to get one of the stages with these 2 rounds, one of the stages completely done. Tell me, what horses are you using? The new horses from the stables, a combination thereof. You can take all the horses with you. Presumably you can leash and tether and have them kind of walk without weight behind the stage coaches. That's what they usually do with multi-horse teams. New horses in?
I would go with duos. 2
Yeah.
new horses, 2 of the old ones. They're gonna learn on the job.
Okay. So yeah, you hook them all up. You have 1 team done. I need 2 more rolls. And if anybody wants to check on the progress of the zombies, you can substitute one of your animal handlings for perception.
I can. Does anyone else want to do it? If not, I can.
Either
I'm
or.
real bad.
You to do it?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Wait,
Okay.
You're probably better with animals. I'll do perception.
Okay.
Oh God. Okay, here we go. Perception. 9. So much jam. So much jam.
One of the horse is actually a hag.
Right. There it was.
But my animal handling's a 12.
Okay.
19 and then 1 regular, so I can save my last honor. 14. So 19 and 14.
Okay, you're able to get you get 4 of the horses onto the second stage. You're getting the last 2 in whatever configuration you want them as the horses are being gathered, the kids are being readied. You do not have a chance to do anything else. The horses have been watered and fed. We're going to say that happened in the short period of time as they gobbled up the straw and stuff. But as you are all getting this together and getting ready to go, we're going to cut back in as Aspen. What are you doing to try to move Father Strider as this minutes are passing?
I'm gonna grab him and like try to lift him.
He literally does not budge. It's as if you're trying to lift a tree.
None of my spells are useful here. Father, we gotta go. What's the floor made of?
It's wood.
I'm gonna literally try to like hack up like the boards under his feet and try to like tip him over that way.
Okay. So as you begin to attack the floor, we're going to say that that's the time that's kind of elapsed as you're doing all of this. Roll me perception check, Audrey, for Aspen.
How much armor do I have? I'm gonna get advantage on this one.
Nat 20. The magical fire has died down. It didn't seem to catch because of the early rain. Luckily, the home is smoldering. It probably is not in the best of circumstance. If the wind would pick up, there'd be a problem. But as you're sitting there, you begin to smell that stench of the undead, and you see a little green mote, almost like a green ash, float in, and another, and another, and another, and you get that odd smell that you smelled before in Mother's house, that almost alcohol type smell. And you remember what happened the last time those were present. Father Strider, as your friend is trying to save you by moving the very earth itself, before you, you see a very old man. They did it. They did it.
Who are they and what did they do?
Roll a persuasion check. Again, they did it. They did it. North to the Vale. North to Icewind Dale. Over and over. They did it. They did it. North to the Vale. North to Icewind Dale.
Yeah, Strider's not exactly the most charismatic individual.
Would you like to ask again?
No. Just take it and see what happens from there.
Roll me a d8.
Oh, God. Oh, totally scratched that up. Okay, I'm screwing it up. You do it, Greg. Kill me. Kill me with your roll.
6. That's not bad.
In the grand scheme of how Greg's gonna fuck with you, it's not bad at all!
So as you ask your question, the old man begins to fade from this strange view that you have. Out in the real world, as the horses are being hitched, you have Audrey. You can smell this. You can see this green snow, these motes and dancing bits of whatever it is, this phosphorescence. As you're sitting there, a minute, 2, 3, 4, you begin to hear them. You can hear them hitting the outer fences of this estate, of this farm area. 5 minutes. You
I'm
can
gonna
begin to
kick him. I'm
go
gonna
right ahead.
kick him right in the chest.
He dies.
What? No. Why did he have so few hit points? My hooves only deal like a d6.
Roll me an athletics check. Roll me your d6 of damage.
Oh, it's only a d4 actually.
Roll your d4 of damage.
7.
You take 7 damage as you feel one of your front hooves like hyperextend and almost break as you kick against this stone structure that is Father Strider. I need to ask you right now, Aspen. They are here. What do you do? You can hear them on the boards on the back porch. The air is thick with green.
I'm gonna stand in between Father Strider and them.
Take 15 honor. Everybody else outside, Gambit, Jordan, Lauren, no one's coming out of this house. You hear nothing. You hear thudding and whatever is the equivalent of a centaur paladin curse, I would assume, coming from. But you do not see Father Strider. You do not see Aspen. What do you do? They are here.
Are we ready to roll?
You hitch the last of the horses, mix the way that Tiz told you.
We have to start moving. Aspen can catch up. I know they will.
She's a centaur. All right, I'll take a spot, call out one last time for Aspen and Father Strider to come out. We're leaving. Wait a second, and then, yeah.
Yeah, as our coach starts moving, do I get any sense, do I see any of the wolves? Are they still occupied?
How long does that spell last?
An hour.
Wolf friends.
You would probably see several of them looking around the water's edge.
Okay, I'm going to send them, because I don't even have to verbally communicate it. I can just do it. I'm going to send them. I'll split them. So 4 will come behind us to fend off anything coming from behind, and 4 will go into the house.
Okay, there's 4 left.
Oh, okay. Then I'm gonna split it then 2 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 wolves will pad into the house towards the oncoming horde. 2 will follow as you ride off. As the 3 of you take off, I'd like perception checks from each of you as you look back.
22.
11.
16.
We're going to say that you all see this as the "yeah" is given by Tiz. Everybody begins to pull up that lane that you had taken before. But Zeph and Veneris, as you look back, you see a wave break over the side of the ranch as dozens of these things begin to pour from both the right and left-hand side of the house. You hear movement from inside as they begin to come through the front door. It looks as if an ocean has broken across the farmhouse. But you are clear for now.
I'm gonna start bawling and just keep on riding. Well, coaching.
As you all ride off, we are going to cut to inside the house. Just at the 5-minute, 50-second mark, Strider, your eyes come open and refocus as the man drifts away in front of you. And instead it's replaced by your centaur companion standing in the doorway as 1, 2, 3, 6, 12 of these creatures pour in through the back. Several of them notice her or notice them and turn and charge towards Aspen. I'm going to need initiative rolls from everybody here.
I'm gonna do this with advantage. 11.
Okay, you all have the ability to act. However, as aforementioned, there are no windows in this room. What would you like to do?
So they've seen Aspen?
There are at least 6 of them charging the centaur. I will also take perception checks.
Okay, I'll do that real quick, just to stall my decision.
The green stuff is in the air.
Father Strider. Are they already in melee range of her?
Them.
Yep.
But you remember that Aspen can teleport.
Aspen, I have knowledge that might save us all.
I hope it was worth it.
I don't want.
Run.
In Mother's name, always. And with that, he bolts out the front and uses feline agility to double his movement speed.
As you are running out, the attack of opportunities that fall from the creatures that are in front of you and to the side of you and behind you as you sprint towards the front door, I need you to make a strength saving throw as they...
Hold on. I was confused on positioning then here. So
you're running, it's like you're running with the bulls and you had a late start.
Okay, the way I had understood it was that she was positioned between me and them.
Correct, in the doorway, which is the only exit from this room. So you'd have to go past her and out through the crowd.
Okay, so how many?
Them for Aspen, please. Thank you.
So then what I'm going to do is I'll attack two of them and then walk away.
Okay.
Ultimately, the attack roll and the damage doesn't matter. All it says is for swashbuckling to work is for me just to attack them.
Right. I get what you're doing, and this is, once again, very similar to what the wolves were before, and the mechanic that's in play here, it's a horde tactic, so or a pack tactic, or something of that nature. So what I would need you to do is, I need you to make a strength saving throw regardless. We're talking there's a dozen of them in between here, and they would charge and tackle as soon as that's their opportunity attack as a tackle.
All right, I'm going to spend my last 5 on her to do this with advantage then.
Ordis would tell you that the DC on this one is 20. So as you get pulled down...
Was this roll made just...
That's right, I'm next to her.
They started?
I'm next to her, it's +2.
It's within, what, 5 feet or 10 feet?
10 feet.
Roll a d20 if you would
Blessing of Ordis!
If you get a 10 to 20, I'll let it happen. If it's a 1 to... If it's 11 to 20, I'll let it happen. If it's a 1 to 10, I won't.
Roll. So roll /1d20?
/roll 1d20.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, God. Oh, my God.
So you're at 11 feet when they draw you down. Aspen, what do you do?
I'm going to cast Searing Smite.
Okay.
And I'm going to hit one. Try to just attack one.
Okay, go right ahead.
Time shenanigans from Staffin.
I know. I made you roll it anyway because you didn't notice.
Oh, you're a dick!
I got a nat 20.
Fantastic. And what does Searing Strike do?
It does 1d6 additional fire damage and causes the target to ignite in flames.
It certainly does. As the crowd going up on the escape train gets about halfway up the road, you see a brilliant green explosion behind you as the green motes in the air catch from the searing strike and take the house, the barn and stable, and the surrounding area into a fiery pit, maybe straight from the abyss. And it's strange that that's what it resembles. The fire burns around Strider and Aspen. It seems to lick around everything as you are both laid low. But before you, Aspen, a familiar figure appears, dressed now in a fine suit, chain over where a cravat would be. Instead, it's a heavy iron-linked chain. And as he comes forward, the light of the twilight in the lake playing a bit off of his horns. Well, well. Seems you've gotten yourself into some trouble again.
Trouble?
You're dead again, my four-legged friend.
There is no more worthy fight than this.
What do you do with your life now? Die again for a worthy cause?
No. Give someone else a chance.
Someone, you should think of yourself. I once heard someone say, who will protect the children if I am to die? I heard that once, just maybe a few minutes ago.
Others will protect them.
Will they, though? Would they stand here in the middle of flame? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yet you're the only one to die. He's a fool that listened to a necklace. He does not look at Strider. I'm trying to decide whether or not you're a fool who stood beside a fool who listened to a necklace, or if you're worth the price of admission, Aspen. This is twice now. I feel compelled to do something to keep the show going. Why is that? Why do I fancy you so much?
Because I'm everything you're not.
Delicious. And the forked tongue peeks out, licking upper and lower lip. I think you might be right. You might be onto something. I cannot help you again, though. We're in Act 3. The final ride of Aspen the Centaur.
I understand.
Do you? For the next time I come, I will have a price. Not for life, but for damnation. No strings for this one, but a puppet you will be if I come back again. My puppet. On a string.
But not this time.
Not this time.
Then I'll have to make sure next time is worth it too.
You are worth the price of admission. Such nobility. Such pride. Delicious. And you, fool, don't listen to necklaces. Hmm. And he leans forward, and you hear a long inhalation. That'll do. I hope I don't see you too soon. It is nighttime.
Agree.
The farm is smoldering. The horde, wherever it had been, is scattered. You believe that several hours have passed. If the group went north, what is the range of Nick Sparkle?
1 mile.
Roll me a d20. Nick Sparkle can't talk, right? He can just communicate telepathically with you.
Correct. He can understand common, but can't speak it.
Okay. Yeah, you don't hear anything. And as you're standing there in the middle of this area, the two of you looking at one another, Father Strider, you still have the necklace. It is now in your hand and not in a position where it can be activated, but you can still feel a warmth about it. We're going to cut to the other group. I want to briefly ask this. After the explosion, would anybody go back?
I don't think so. But I would go back too. But I don't think we should risk everybody.
No, just stay. I will, what I had planned for Veneris was to, especially if the wolves did not return, is to, it sounds goofy, but I swear it's not, is I'm going to call my eagles, and I would have searched at least, like swooping overhead like an aerial search so that everyone else could stay with the wagons.
I'd come with you for that. I mean, Daenerys can fly. He may not be fast as an eagle, but he wouldn't want to leave Zeph on her own.
Okay. So this was several hours later. When you would search the area, you would see a crater. No sign of your friends.
Then I suppose we could leave them a message if they're still here somewhere.
They have to be. Aspen promised.
I've been with Aspen for a while. They are very hard to kill.
They promised they'd be back. They'll be back.
You can leave a message.
Mm-hmm.
What's the message say?
Probably just something. uh, something along the lines of same direction as before.
Know the route.
The kids like. What is it? What's the horse's
Twinkle
name?
Sparkle. Twilight Sparkle.
Twilight Sparkles.
Twilight Sparkle.
The kids like Twilight Sparkle.
I'm great with kids.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
Don't
no, it's
take
awful.
too much time. Please hurry. And Veneris is gonna take out one of his jars of jam, and he's gonna put it next to the note wherever they leave it.
Oh yeah, wait, because you have look
got-
for jars of jam for where we are.
Gonna leave crumbs of jam.
Yep, crumbs of jam. Yes,
So much jam.
and then we'll go back.
Leave a trail with less calories.
No.
All right, so as we cut forward several hours later, as Father Strider and Aspen appear, you would see the note, same direction as before, follow the jam, with a jar of jam, seemingly as the first in several breadcrumbs. Later that evening, as the escape train continues its haul north, now with fresh horses, putting more distance between itself and the bulk of whatever is this undead presence, Mother comes to Tizzle.
We're
son.
still riding, right?
Yes.
We didn't stop. Okay, so she's just like opening a little window that's between me and the bench or something.
Yes. Tizzle,
Yes, Ma.
I don't think we're going to make it.
What do you mean? We have fresh horse. We're making good way.
We have lost my little horse, and we have lost the father. I do not think we're going to make it.
Without keeping my eyes off of the road because I don't want to somehow crash into something, I will reach out with one hand, see if I can put my hand inside the place so I can motion I want to grab her hand and give it a good squeeze. I'm never good with those speeches. Give me a second. We may have lost them too, but we're still strong. We have fresh horses. We're making good way. Believe in us. We'll bring you to Neverwinter. We'll bring the children to Neverwinter. If by some miracle they survive, and I know luck might not be on our side right now, but I know deep down they might be all right, especially since we left them a message. They will find us. We will be reunited.
You feel her squeeze your hand back through the driver's gate. Tizzle, take the deputy's horse, Barnacle, and ride ahead to Neverwinter. If there is help there at the house in Neverwinter, see if they can send it down to meet us.
At once, Mother. We're just gonna stop, switch up the horses. I'll take Barnacle and ride ahead.
So, as Tizzle rides off, Father Strider, you had one last thing you wanted to say before we...
Yeah, just checking the note over and checking the jam. I pop open the jam and I taste it. And immediately flashes of Veneris come into my mind. Raspberry. only one person would ever leave me raspberry. This is definitely Veneris' work.
And as we cut away from the realization of Raspberry several miles to the south, we see as the half-orc, the small half-orc with the mighty maul, Tizzle rides north at a breakneck speed upon the steed of a fallen deputy. The explosive contents of Barnacle secreted away on one of the stagecoaches, at least most of it. As Blundertrust the gnome, preoccupied by Barnacle, is working on something with his friend Robin. But that's a story for next week, as we will welcome in Sir Anti-Stud into the fateful Zombie Slayer ejection chair. Gambit can only be with us for this week, but Tizzle lives, at least as far as the horizon says so. So, that is where we will end this session of the Fall of Faerun. Fantastic, my friends. That was the Legion, Staffen coming through to save our friends from certain bitey bite. But we have you have a devil friend, so I want to say the devil looks like either Mick Jagger or Steven Tyler too. Just so we kind of get a picture of what they look like. Let's go around and talk to everybody as we say goodbye to all of our friends for this week. Let's start with Jason. Jason, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fabulous. I was so angry in the beginning when you were trying to take Megan that I was clenching my jaw. I was so pissed off. That said, yeah, another roller coaster of an episode. Once again, thank you, Legion, for saving yet another one of our asses. It is much appreciated. And looks like Staffen got a 2 for this time. Good job, Staffen. But yeah, way to leave us off with kids playing with bombs, Greg. Only you would have that type of cliffhanger. Children playing with bombs.
I didn't say that. I said that Truss was working on something, and they know what they're doing. They're a gnome.
Sure. Yeah, evidently there's a bomb class at Mother's home for wayward children. So
well. But, awesome, yeah, my friend.
Check me out on Twitter, JasonTDNDDM, and then this coming May, huge charity stream. I'm helping organize, and several members of the channel are going to be participating in, including our wondrous DM, evil bastard that he is, Greg. He will be one of the DMs, and for a good cause, to help raise suicide awareness and how tabletop gaming helps with that. So that's coming up in May. It starts, I believe, May 11th and runs through the 16th. So, yeah.
Fantastic, my friend, fantastic. And we will drop straight down to Jordan. Jordan, how are you doing, my friend? And how'd you like your time here in the apocalypse?
Oh, I'm having a wonderful time, jam-packed, full of fun and horrible rolls. It's been amazing. I'm so excited to have made it this far. Like, all of you guys are absolutely glorious. Aspen is by far one of my favorites. They are just amazing. Honestly, it's been a blast. Veneris is heartbroken that their family is not all with them, and he's going to be looking for that shotgun probably real soon, because he's pretty good with ranged weapons.
Fantastic. What could possibly go wrong?
Perfect.
Right. Veneris with a shotgun and a gnome, a couple children with air quote bombs. We'll see.
Explosives.
Right. Come on. Let's jump over to Audrey. Audrey, how are you doing, and did you enjoy your time in the apocalypse?
Absolutely. I am good. Aspen's still alive somehow. I love getting to talk to that demon, getting to use the I have a list of Magic the Gathering flavor text quotes from their most recent set that I have been busting out for the cool one-liners. Some of them were my own too, but so I'm glad I got to use a lot of those. Conversations with Devils will do that, so.
They certainly will. Fantastic, my friend. And let's jump up to Lauren. Lauren, how are you doing? How was your time in the apocalypse? You got Wolfie with it? That helped out.
You know, I'm feeling real good. Feeling great about myself, about my crew. Everything's fine. I'm feeling pretty chill, actually. This is a pleasant jaunt. I'm so glad there are children playing with black powder. That's fun. It's fun for us. Anyway, hi, I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter. I'm part of the team here at Tales from the Grim. I'm going to be running an Urban Shadows campaign starting in May on Monday nights at 9 Eastern that Craig's gonna be in. And then tomorrow is our campaign finale of Adventures in the Wild Blue over on Off the Table. Wow, that's weird. We've been doing that for like 6 months or something. Come see the OG Captain Vance get it on with her lady love. That's all I have to say.
Fantastic, my friend. And finally, the man of the last couple hours, our half-orc, ass-kicker, hag destroyer, our buddy Gambit. Gambit, how are you? And Tizzle made it. I know that it was up in the air whether or not, by hook or by crook, he had to leave this episode, but I'm pleasantly surprised it's under at least not terminal circumstances. How did you enjoy your time in the apocalypse, my friend?
I was standing on a razor's edge the whole time. I knew that every decision I made was crucial to the next step. One bad decision, everything crumbled. When I was able to deal that massive damage to the ag, I'm like, I got something there going. I need to just keep chipping away at it.
I will let you know this.
So on the edge, to be honest.
I will let you know this. When one of those hags went down, the next round, the third one was coming in, which would have been a coven, but they couldn't do what they needed to do since they were only 2 instead of 3. So shit got exponentially worse if that one hag had still been alive. So with the barbarian lowering the boom and taking 3-2, you turned the tide, my friend. If that was the play of the game, there it was. The play of the game was the death of that hag. But Tizzle is still in the pattern, which everybody, please make sure you follow me on Twitter, Grimjack21502. See all of these people linked. Make sure you follow them. They're awesome, and they need to be followed. Gambit, stay on deck, my friend, in case Tizzle is needed. We may very well be seeing a pop-up. Now, do you have anything else you want to say, my friend, before I give a few brief announcements and then we end for Critical Role? Like we're segueing.
Definitely follow me on Twitter at The Gambit. I try to post about TTRPG as much as I can, and that's pretty much it. Oh, that's right. Thank you very much, Frax, for reminding me that next Tuesday we also have a game of Dark Matter where we take DnD to space. Big heist coming. We'll see what happens.
Fantastic. And everybody make sure that you follow Gambit online to be able to join in that fun game. Dark Matter's great. So here's what we have coming up, my friends. Everybody that is on the side of me here and then down here, everybody in my corners, you're level 7, I think. So you level up with each one of these terminal episodes. Sir Anti-Stud will be joining us, and Staffin is on deck. And the reason why I mentioned 2 people is because it's episode 5, and I will let you know this now so everybody can be ready. The undead have caused opportunities, and opportunities that have arisen for a little payback. Payback begins next week as some ancient beasts realize now might be the time to take advantage of a fallen civilization as the dragons arrive. We will see you next week, my friends, Legion. As always, my love. And as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, but you can always role play. We'll see you next time, friends.